Hey, I'm here with my good friend Rafa Loza. He is the king when it comes to Airbnb arbitrage. What the hell is Airbnb arbitrage, and can you still make money doing it today? Let's take a look.
My name is Rafa Loza. I live in Santa Ana, California, and I am an expert at short-term rentals, arbitrage specifically, and now boutique hotels is my new investment strategy. And I've been doing this for 6.5 years. What's up, guys? Welcome to my 2-bedroom arbitrage apartment. This is the living room. We did a bigger TV here, and we got a sleeper sofa for extra kids and guests when they come in. This whole apartment has a very cool different layout because it's got a different kitchen with like a little hallway into the 2-bedroom apartment. So it was a conversion. We tried to take advantage of the entire space, and here we have a full washer and dryer with a small bathroom.
So 1.5 bathroom.
Yeah, 1.5 bath. Then if you follow me down the hallway, it leads you into our full bath, standing shower. And then you got bedroom number 1. King bed, we put king bed in all our locations. We want people to have nice, comfortable beds, and they're all memory foam mattresses. And then bedroom number 2, we went with the classy gold theme with the blue. It stands out because it's a really good highlight. But this is a queen bed because we want to take advantage of the space. But if you noticed, every room has a TV. Super important. We put TVs in every bedroom because we want people, when they come here, to have their own comfortable space. If they're winding down at night, they can just watch their own TV show and you don't have to go into the living room together, or if they have kids and stuff like that as well.
Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoy it.
What did you do prior to getting into Airbnbs, and how much did you make doing that?
So I actually own a collection agency for about 4 years, but I've been in collections for about 10 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then I left the business, and then in the meantime, I was working at a casino full-time.
How much did you make doing that?
If I remember correctly, it was 18 bucks an hour.
Okay.
I think it was 18 bucks, maybe 20 bucks an hour.
Okay, so for those that don't know, what is Airbnb arbitrage?
Airbnb arbitrage is where we rent out someone else's property long-term, then we come in and we furnish it, make it look beautiful, and then we rent it out at a higher rate than what we're paying in rent to people short-term. So in short, we rent it out, like for example, $2,000 a month, then we furnish the place, and then we rent it out per night at a higher rate. So we make $4,000 a month, and then we keep the profit difference.
So how does one get into investing, getting their own Airbnb arbitrage?
The best way to do it is to start looking for places that are for rent in your area or in your backyard so that you get comfortable and familiar with the operations part of it. But it's simple, go to rent.com, apartments.com, go to networking events. People, investors that have places for rent are going to be your best bet for sustainable long-term arbitrage.
So we're in one of your arbitrage units right now. It looks really nice. How much did it cost to acquire this and furnish it?
This cost me $1,000 deposit, and the rent here is $29.50 a month, $39.50 to get started just to acquire the property or the lease. And then the furniture in this specific unit, I did kind of a hybrid model because I closed down an old location and moved my stuff here. But if I were to give you an estimate, we're looking at about $15,000 total, with beds, TVs, brand new couch, desks, everything, frames, wall painting, the minute system, the door locks, everything about 15 grand.
So this unit right here, what are we, a 2-bedroom, 1 bath?
This is a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Yeah.
Okay, so you said probably 15 grand out of pocket to acquire. For a newbie investor, how much do you think they would profit based on this location here in the year?
This 2-bedroom apartment should make us no less $1,500 a month in profit, average on a 12-month period. So we'll have months where we might do $400 a month, but then we have months where we're doing $4,000 or $5,000 a month.
So it seems like you're going to make all your money back within the first year.
Correct.
So the question is, why isn't everybody doing it? It seems like a great model, right?
Yeah. Okay. So it is a great model, and I think everybody should do it. I talk about it all the time. The reason why people don't do it is because number 1, you don't own anything.
Right.
So you don't own the asset. Number 2, you will only be a business as long as the landlord or property management allows you to be in the building. So if in a year when my lease is up, they decide to kick me out, I'm gone. And now all I did was make my money back, and now I have all this furniture sitting here, and then I have to go and find another location to start making money. So the return on investment is there relatively quick, but the actual income profit that we're looking for is going to take you into the 2nd and 3rd year.
Right.
And a lot of people don't do it because they don't know that they can actually rent a place out, furnish it with permission of a landlord. Not to mention, they go into these big apartment complexes and they always get denied because they don't go to the actual investors or mom and pop owners that you can work with directly.
So you find that investors a lot easier?
Oh, 100%. Not only is it easier, but it's also crucial for longevity in this business, right? You want to be able to have a good relationship with an investor or a mom and pop owner, direct owner relationship, because then you can work with them long term as opposed to a property management company that can come in and kick you at the end of the year because a neighbor complained, or because they rotated the manager, or because they rotated a property management company.
What is the benefit to the landlord? Let's say I own 3-4 units here in Southern California. Why not just rent it out to a long-term tenant, which is tried and true, right?
Yeah, so there's multiple benefits to certain landlords, and it always goes down to what pain point you're solving for the landlord. Most investors are in it to avoid vacancy. And so when we come in and we're signing 2-3 year leases, they're not going to be vacant. They're going to be occupied for 2-3 years from day one. I don't pay above market rent to landlords as to their benefit, but if I have a good relationship, I do give them a little extra sometimes so that they can raise their revenue and be guaranteed vacancy, and I can run a business or operation out of it. The second benefit is that we handle most of the maintenance issues. They don't have to come in here and repair anything. We repair everything ourselves, so their cost of operation drops as well.
Well, yeah, that's huge, right? The headache of having the plumber come out there, that's all on you now,
Yeah.
right? And then not only that, I don't have to pay 10% to a property management company because you're pretty much doing all of that.
I'm doing all the work. I'm taking on all the risk. They're saving the 10%. They're saving the maintenance cost, and they have full occupancy.
So the question is, why isn't every landlord doing it?
Well, there's risks,
Right,
There's risks involved. So a lot of landlords think Airbnb, oh my God, they're going to trash my place.
Yeah.
And that does happen. It happens because they get operators or short-term rental operators that don't know how to handle situations like a party. They don't have security systems in place to stop those people from coming in. They're new, they just let anybody through the door, and the biggest part is landlords just aren't educated on it enough. I educate all of my investors so they know what we do, how we handle situations, the systems and process we have in place to deal with pretty much any issue that arises. And when it arises, we handle it right then and there. So most landlords, they just don't know about it, or they have a sour taste because of Airbnb, or they've had a bad operator in the past.
Right, yeah.
And well, some landlords just don't want to deal with people rotating through the property because of complaints from neighbors and stuff like that.
Tell us about your portfolio. What does it look like? How fast did it take you to scale to that number?
So I currently have 76 short-term rentals.
76 short-term rentals.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's insane.
it's funny when people like I say that like it's a normal thing, but everybody was like, "What?" 76 of them. It's crazy. And these are 76 that I manage directly. I actually have more with brothers and my friends and family and stuff like that. So we're easily over 100, I think. Yeah,
That's insane, man.
Yeah, it's been kind of fun. So I scaled it super fast, actually. To answer your question, when I first started, I've scaled this business twice. When I first started 6.5 years ago, I went from 0 to 14 in 9 months, and then I slowly scaled to about 28, and then COVID hit, and I was back down to 3. The moment COVID hit, one of my owners sold a building, and so I had to get rid of a lot of locations there. And so I went from 76 units in a year and a half. So it scaled significantly fast.
Wow, that's impressive. Give us a hack. How can someone acquire something like this?
Okay, I'm gonna give you guys the best way to do it. It's driving for locations.
Okay.
Drive your neighborhood and find places that are under construction. Talk to the contractor to put you in contact with the owner. Tell the owner that you would have at least the moment it's ready to go live for this business model, fully rehabbed, no maintenance issues, and longevity, and you can build a good relationship with the owner directly.
So looking back on this, what would you have done different?
No, that's a great question. So I actually wouldn't have scaled to 76 units. I would have stopped at a number that I was happy with in terms of the revenue I was generating, and instead of reinvesting that revenue back into more locations, I would have actually purchased property. From day one, the goal was always to purchase property, but I got so caught up in, add more units, add more revenue. Now we cash flow significantly, which is great, but we have up good months and bad months, so we can't just go and spend that money. What I should have done is gone to a number where I say, hey, if I want to cash flow 30 grand a month and been happy with that and taken that money, paid myself a good salary, and then reinvest that money into purchasing property, I would have actually owned more property. I wouldn't have 76 units, but I would have property that I actually own, which is always the ultimate goal.
So let's talk 76 units. What does the revenue look like? What does your take home look like?
I think revenue was about, again, don't quote me on the numbers because I don't know. I didn't think you were gonna ask me this question right now. Or else I would have been prepared. But I want to say we did about 2.7 to 3 million in revenue.
Oh shit.
Yeah, in 1 year.
That's impressive, man.
In terms of the actual profit, maybe 40% of that.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
dude, I paid 86,000 in taxes last year, which was terrible. And I say that kind of like prideful because it's cool, but at the same time, I got wrecked.
Yeah.
Again, going back to the purchasing property.
So you paid 86,000 in taxes, more than what most Americans make in a year.
Yeah, it was brutal. Actually, it was a really bad thing to do because even though it's a great thing because the more money you pay in taxes, the more money you're making. But had I bought property, I could have depreciated against the property and pocketed all that to buy more property.
Yeah.
I had plans with those 86 grand was to actually buy my own single family house for myself. And I ended up giving it to the government, and here I am still not with the house, right? But the revenue was great. I don't know the actual profit, I can't quote you on it. But my take home, I run my business like an actual business. I pay myself a salary every month. So my salary is, I pay myself payroll, and then I pay myself just like a 1099. But I don't go over 10 grand a month. So I keep it under $10,000 a month for my salary itself, which is what I use for all my living expenses, my traveling, everything that I do for fun, is what I pay myself, and the rest I reinvest.
That's still a pretty good salary. That's your take home. That's what some of the physicians I work with, that's how much they're taking home, you know?
To give you context, I didn't pay myself anything for like the first 2.5 years. So I was paying myself like $1,500 a month. And so I said, when I got to a certain number, I would start paying myself more, right? But then remember what I said earlier, I would just reinvest everything into getting more locations. When I got to a certain number, I was like, okay, I need to start paying myself for my cost of living, which it went from $1,500 to $2,000 to $3,000 to $5,000. And then for a long time, I only paid myself $5,000 a month. And then I finally said, hey, it's time to take advantage of the hard work I've been putting in. And that took about 5 years to get to.
Right.
And when I got to that point, I was like, okay, now I'm gonna give myself a $10,000 a month salary, which again covers my entire cost of living. And I live well, I enjoy it. I rent, I don't actually own a property where I live, I rent it. So, and that's part of my company as well. And so it works out. It works out really good. I'm happy with it, and I can take the rest of the profits and reinvest them for future investments. The goal is to invest.
So where can people get a hold of you?
The best way to get a hold of me is on Instagram. It's Rafa Loza, literally ITS, Rafa Loza. I respond to everybody. Sometimes it takes me a little longer because messages get a little hectic, but Instagram is the best place. And I provide content for people who follow me on Instagram based on short-term rental.
And you have a podcast too, right?
Yeah, I have a podcast called The Big Break Show, where we bring in investors and we talk about, you've been on it.
Yeah.
Where we talk about real estate investing. And then we have a free Facebook group called The Big Break Facebook group. If you guys want to join that, we have just people who collaborate and drop stuff in there and share their wins and stuff like that as well.
Cool.